It's time to break it all down because we've got a bunch more intel coming our way from the land of Ark, which on the surface looks sick, but there's more here that meets the eye, and you know me, I always try to dig around, which has led me from point A to B to point C and beyond. I mean, this journey's not over yet, but I wanted to give you a little peek behind the curtain. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and Ark is up, it's down, it's everywhere in between, and I'm going to try to lay this all out for you. And by the way, again, this is unscripted. You really seem to like that format from the last video, so here it is again. Remember to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Likes, comments, shares are of course greatly appreciated. Chapters are up in place, and in case you want to jump around to different areas of this video, and here we go, survivors. So, just like a strong dose of morning caffeine, let's drop a triple shot of espresso onto this one with the latest from the corporate suits over at Snail Games, who, by the way, have remained really silent ever since boasting about Ascended's strong early sales. More on that in a bit. Now, I haven't had time to actually check this out for myself, but I did receive an invite to play Myth of Empires prior to launch, which I think is starting in February, and you're probably like, what? MOE? What the hell is that doing in an Ark video? Good question, by the way. And it's here because after a nearly 2-year legal battle over stolen source code, Angela Games finally settled with Snail, essentially tying them together for future work, dear God, which includes marketing and distribution of Myth of Empires. Okay, so TLDR, this game is about to get the full Snail Games treatment. Anyone want to place bets on how long it's going to survive this time? But this also means that Snail will share in the profits once it goes on sale via Steam. And the biggest questions are, number one, will it attract pre-lawsuit player counts? Honestly, I don't know. And number two is, how much has Snail twisted this into a cash shop MTX pay-to-win party? Still, there should be a little money coming their way, which is, of course, going to make them happy. Which is just what the Snail Doctor ordered, because Snail's stock, again, fell below the $1 a share basement, closing at just 95 cents a share by the end of the day Friday. And by the way, that's just 1 cent higher than their all-time low of 94 cents a share. Again, TLDR here, their stock has lost over 2/3 its value since going public, and at 95 cents, it is still rated at overvalued by stock analysts, which basically means, hey, don't spend your hard-earned money on this shit. And overall, it's pretty salty news right now for Snail. By the way, see what I did there? Anyways, initial Ascended sales will have provided a cash infusion, but how much? Hopefully we get that full picture soon, as February should bring the Q4 Snail Games financials, and I'm very keen on seeing how well they fared. You know, I've got theories on all that, but with Ark 2 kind of still dangling out there, possibly late 2024, more than likely much later than that. They've got legal issues surrounding senior staff on that project, and Ark provides over 90% of all Snail's operating income. Ascended sales, how did those go? Will it be enough? There's just a mountain of uncertainty when it comes to Snail and Ark, especially if you read between the lines. Man, it's like I planned out that one perfectly, because with this week's Wildcard community update, there's a ton of technical jargon being flung at readers, all to say something very simple to the players. If you read between the lines, microtransactions are upon us. Now, over the past few weeks, Wildcard has slowly revealed this new custom cosmetic system, which on the surface does sound pretty rad. Players can create their own skins and costumes for quite a few things, from, you know, dinos to weapons. And all I gotta say is, I just want the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy. That's it. Game over. I beat happy. One swipe of that thing and I'm ready to ascend. Anyways, let's get back to the details. Early February will require clients to manually install the mods to use them on officials. Big hint there about MTXs, by the way. Use them on official. Early April, an auto-download system will be there and in place, so essentially you can be on official servers, and if someone is using one of these cosmetics, you'll be able to see them, or at least that's how I read it. And of course, we get a few quick looks at the system in play, a clean glass wall, a lamppost, a tic-tac-toe table, along with a full statement about a policing system in place by Overwolf, You know how I feel about them. And Wildcard. And by the way, there's your second big hint as to the possibility of this being a microtransaction system, because a policing system will cost money. How do they pay for that? They charge for MTXs. And so this all begins with Ascended. And does it all start to give you the feeling that it's slowly, brick by brick, turning into one big cash shop? ASE support was pulled to make way for this definitive ARK experience. You can call it remastered, you can call it retooled, whatever definition you want to give it there. But they charge for ARK Survival Ascended, which was also bringing along mod support across all the platforms, and with that, premium mods. Then out of the blue, we get these adventure packs. FOMO sets in. Hey guys, we know we told you Ascended was a one-time purchase for all the maps, but now we've got these extra skins. We've got Dynamite and the Oasisaur, which looks to be close to Titan size, only $19.99. By the way, I made up that price, but now we've got custom cosmetics cutting through the bullshit to what they will be, microtransactions. It all feels like too much. By the way, let me know if you're reading this the way I laid it out. But for now, onwards to more ARK news, because there's a fresh round of mods to review with the latest mod spotlight, for all those players out there that really want to customize their Ascended experience, of which I wish I could report progress has been made, but yesterday I logged in for the first time in weeks. Sorry, I've strayed a bit. I've been spreading myself around, even trying out a bit of Palworld, which is just a straight-up copy of ARK, but it functions way better, just being honest. Anyways, back to Ascended on PC, but it was again running like ass. I have pretty much the best components money can buy. I've got a 4090, a huge processor, tons of RAM. I can run pretty much any other game out there without a hitch. Hell, I could probably control the space station here from my gaming PC. But Ascended is, man, as much as I feel like going into a profanity-laced tirade here about the performance of this game, I'm just going to press pause for right now and try and keep it safe for work. So, again, TLDR, the servers are ass, the game runs like ass, at least for me on PC, so it's no sugar from me today, and I guess it's back to Palworld. As always, links to the full crunch can be found in the video description, because now it's over to that digging I've been doing. And by the way, this is not all of it, just a little sampling concerning Ascended sales and Snail games. Now, in the past, I've been vocal about my, let's call it, disbelief towards how well this game is doing financially. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can admit it. We'll find out soon when the Q4 financial report is released. But, for me, things just didn't add up. Snail boasted about 600,000 plus units sold on Steam in the first 2 weeks of launch, but ever since then, not a whisper about those Ascended sales numbers. Now, I mentioned Palworld earlier. Every time they hit a milestone, it's like 2 million, 3 million. What are they up to now? 8 million sales. There's some kind of press release, you know what I mean? But for Ascended, we got nothing. Then slowly but surely, we start to get these extra cost items dropped in every month. You've got things like premium mods, adventure packs. Now we've got cosmetics, which I admit Wildcard did not exactly describe them as microtransactions, but they have all the familiar symptoms of a microtransaction program. Hell, we've even had Jeremy Steiglitz himself publicly say that he wants the entire Wildcard development team to concentrate on Ascended's future, not ARK 2, and these adventure packs was a way to directly fund that effort. Add that to the pile of ARK 2 is not happening fodder. Okay, I'll get to the point of all this. There's a current conversation within the community that Ascended is in trouble. Go figure. I voiced my concerns and thoughts on this with past uploads. Yeah, the Steam numbers aren't good. Evolved has way more players than Ascended and so on, and I still stand by my statements about Ascended's future. But until we get the Snail Q4 report, again, we aren't going to know things like how well it did on PlayStation. We can only see Ascended on the Xbox playlist top 50, just behind Farming Simulator 22, and we can see the current player counts over on Steam. So I decided to try another route, and I reached out to VG Insights for assistance, because they had just published a report outlining the top 10 games by revenue for Steam 2023, but I was hoping they could help me with a game not on that list, Ascended. And honestly, I thought I would get nothing but the sound of silence. I mean, who am I to them, right? But to my surprise, they responded, and quickly, I might add, sending along their internal projections for Ascended based on reviews and concurrent player counts, which, as of an update from a few days ago, puts Ascended at $42.3 million in sales on Steam before Steam takes their platform cut and takes into account things like returns. Okay, now we're in business, because with this first piece of the puzzle, we can then theorize about the rest, and thank you again to VG Insights for the help. Math time. $42.3 million in sales minus 25% for Steam, so that's $10.575 million equals $31,725,000 for Steam alone. And I have no idea on Microsoft PC copies. I can't think it was that many, unless you were one of those fuckers who bought it on purpose to cheat. By the way, nothing in this crunch about that platform being allowed to cross-play again. Anywho, back to the sales numbers. By Snail's own reporting, they said that their PC sales and console sales are damn near 1-to-1, showing here from their fiscal year 2022 revenue chart. 1-to-1 means equal, so $31.7 million times 2, and you get $63.5 million in profits from Ascended. It sounds like a boatload of cash, right? And for Snail, it's been a hell of a long time since they've seen that kind of return. But here's where I did a little more digging, I did a little more math, and a little more theorizing, because, that's how I roll. And according to builtin.com, the average developer salary in the United States, where Wildcard is located, is just over $116,000 a year, with the possibility of another $4,700 in bonuses, meaning they make roughly $120,000 a year. Now, I'm probably going to get some comments to the contrary, but, that's what I've got to work with. Of course, those corporate suits are going to make far more than that, and there will be others on the low end of the estimate. But yeah, Wildcard has roughly what? 55 devs on staff? 55 devs times an average of $10,000 a month per dev, and they're spending $6.6 million a year just on the dev team alone. So, time for basics. 64 mil in projected Ascended sales, which, by the way, is mostly front-loaded sales, minus $500,000 in dev salaries a month just for Wildcard, and we haven't even touched the corporate salaries over at Snail Games and all the other studios and all of their staff, all the R&D cost, the current debt load Snail was carrying from before Ascended's launch. Remember, they went into the hole with Nitrado for $4 million. Hell, even Shihai's wife takes home a cool $1 million a month salary just for being named to the board of Snail Games. And again, dropping a huge dose of honesty on you, Snail has proven time and time again that they are incompetent at money management. So they could easily burn through the Ascended cash even faster than what I've spelled out. Of course, I'm doing some fill in the blanks here, but maybe now those adventure packs, those cosmetic microtransactions, and even those premium mods, maybe now all of that is starting to make more sense for you. And I'm not even touching the subject of the overwhelmingly negative Steam reviews for Ascended, the low player counts, which many have stated will improve once the other maps are released. Again, none of that factors in here, just the math from VG Insights, which they themselves commented on when they sent along the sales chart comparing Evolved and Ascended, showing Ascended's strong early sales, but then being caught and dying off in comparison to Evolved, a game that did not have a large fandom at time of release. So yeah, hopefully this unscripted format works for you. Please let me know in the comments, but from the math I'm seeing, not those low player counts, Ascended underperformed, and Snail is again walking that financial tightrope. Each and every day, that financial report comes closer to going public. Remember to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my upload alerts. Likes, comments, shares are of course greatly appreciated. All my socials are found in the video description. Shout out to the nearly 190,000 of you that have stuck with me. 200K is nearly in sight, so come along for the ride. Hit subscribe and help me get there. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.